Morning guys, hope everybody's staying safe, being practical and keeping themselves out of harm's way. It's Sunday the 5th of July 2020. Right guys, I came up here this morning and it was actually fair and dry, but as you can see we're in for some rain very soon. So what I've done as soon as I came up here this morning was I basically jumped straight on the lawnmower and got the grass cut. I was saying yesterday it was absolutely desperate. Now it's not a pretty sight at the moment and all the grass is still on the ground. I'm not bothered. Still got the long ends underneath the aviary, under the veranda. And again, I ain't bothered. Still got a few long ends around the polytunnel also. And likewise round under this aviary. Right guys, at least I've got it cut. It got to a point where I was getting absolutely soaking wet every time I was walking through this. It was that long. So basically I decided we would get the lawnmower out, get it fired up and try and get this cut before the rain come on. And thankfully I've managed. Now the grass was a bit wet, so it has tore it a bit, and I had to go over it 2 or 3 times, starting at the highest level on the lawnmower and gradually dropping it down to the middle section and then dropping it down to the lowest section eventually. So yeah, it has rived it a bit, and especially with it being damp, but it needed doing. Catch you later. Looks like we got the grass cut just in the nick of time guys. I've only just finished a cup of coffee and look at this, it's just opened from the high heavens. So thankfully we got that grass cut before this happened. And yeah, okay, catch you later guys, bye. Good morning guys, and a very warm welcome to Alan's Allotment. I want to start today's video by saying thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. Now this channel's only been on the go for something like 6 months. About Christmas I think I started it. And I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of my subscribers for following me along, sharing the trials and tribulations, successes and failures, putting comments in the sections below and basically keeping me going. Without you guys there really isn't any point in me doing these videos, and it's just nice to know that you guys actually get some form of benefit from this. I was checking through the stats yesterday on the videos, and at least 50% of all watched videos didn't subscribe. So if you're new to this channel guys, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and the little bell icon on the right, which will alert you every time I put up a new video, and that would be really appreciated. On here it's a bit of a variety channel, and I try to cater for a lot of different people. So we have the allotment area where we basically converted a bit of wasteland into a relatively productive and attractive growing area. And it has been productive this year guys, so if you want to check out how that happened, just look back on the videos there. We also do projects on this channel as well, so there's varying projects on there. I build my own pigeon lofts, I build my own roll-away nest boxes for the chickens, and then I automated that system by using a solar panel, a leisure battery and some components to open and close the nest boxes. And that's on video 4 guys, if for anybody who's interested. I've also put up a solar panel in the growing polytunnel, and that was to simplify the process and make my life a little easier. And basically what I've done is I've got a self-watering system in there. Well, basically I press a button and it waters the plants for me. Just time saving, and it works well, guys. And again, you'll find that in one of the other videos back, looking through the videos, if you're interested in how we did that as well. Now, just recently I've installed some security cameras up here as well. Now, I'm in a very remote location and I don't have electricity per se. I don't even have running water. So you'll see the struggles and trials that I had getting water, and especially of recent times. Thankfully now I have plenty of water. So listen guys, if you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. I also keep rare coloured racing pigeons and fantails. And we do all sorts of different little crazy projects. The main thing about this channel is it's real. If I make a mistake, you'll see it, and you'll get a laugh at my expense. And I don't mind that. If you've got any comments or requests that you'd like to see, guys, please put them in the comments below, and we'll see if we can cater for you. If we get sufficient people requesting a specific project or would like to see how to do a certain thing, then we'll dedicate a video to that, and you, my subscribers. Right guys, enough babbling on. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be getting the young birds out of the race lofts and into their own new quarters. Some are ready, some are not quite ready. They'll be over the next 2 days or so. But I have got another 3 days left off work after today. So there should be plenty of videos coming up very shortly, guys. They'll be mainly around the pigeons this time. But we'll keep you updated on the growing area and in the polytunnel as well. And if we do decide to do any projects, we'll bring you along with that as well. So stay tuned, guys. And thanks again for your subscription. It's much appreciated. I'll catch you later. Right guys, as you can see, we're here in the lofts that we cleaned out yesterday. So we've got all these grills out on both of these lofts. Outside, pressure washed, cleaned out, deep clean, new shavings, and we're good to go for 2 or 3 months now. I've got all the perches scraped down and everything, so yeah. I'm just getting this ready now for the young birds coming in here. Now the first thing you'll notice is we've got a trough in here. Now for the first couple of weeks, that trough will stay in there permanently, and it will just have a glutter cone in there, so they can always find food and they can always have something to eat. They'll never go hungry. Okay, we've washed out the drinker, that's ready to get clean water, and we've topped up the mineral pots and the grit. So what we're going to do now is just going to put this round the back side of that corner there, or we might just shove it down here somewhere, so the young birds can find it. And we'll put the drinker somewhere around here. So we've got the drinker, yeah, that'll probably do it. Right, also it lets them get somewhere to hide or jump up on. They have got the lower perches. This was purposely designed so we've got some low perches for young birds when they first start. They'll take the bottom perches to start off with. They'll jump on here and then up onto the lower perch here until they can fly properly. So there we go guys, there we have it. This is a shed ready. So we're going to let the other 4 birds back that we're keeping in here. We've got 1 pair, and I've put a nest pan over in that corner there. Hopefully she'll go and lay in there. And then there's 2 little tumblers, because I want eggs off that pair if I can. But I'm going to have to keep an eye on the cock, that he doesn't bother these young birds. They'll basically have free rein right through the 2 lofts, but we'll need to keep an eye on the cock bird. Okay guys, see you later. Right guys, what I'm going to try and attempt to do here is show you me taking the babies out of the basket, and then we're going to dip their head in the water so they know what the water is. And we're going to try and video that by standing the camera on there and see how this works, guys. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, so yeah, okay, let's see what happens. Right, so as you can see, we've got the camera set up now, and I'm just going to show you the process of what I actually do when we introduce the new birds into the loft. So as you can see, what we have here is an almond, and it's the almond colour its correct terminology is a stipper. That's the gene of this pigeon. And what happens is as the bird gets older, these dark fleckings will get greater until the bird goes almost dark in latter life. But it's a very attractive phenotype, and as you can see, some of the tail marks are also block flighting, and the bird will get, it's quite a nice mark on this. Sometimes they come off the nest, they don't have any black marks at all, and they develop them after the first molt. So all we're going to do, these birds have actually been fed and watered. It's also got some black flecking around the face and neck down here. Now these have been fed by the parents just prior to being brought in here, so they're not going to eat anything. And all we're going to do, they're probably not going to drink anything either. All we're going to do is basically dip its beak in here so it sees what it is. Until it shakes its head, like that. And that's it. And then we're going to just let it loose in the loft and go and find a place to hide. Now this one here is the Mr. Pigeon. This is a little recessive yellow of some description. Now if it develops black flecking in here at a later date, we'll know that the parent was an almond. However, I still think the almond is the father of this, not the opal, unless there's recessive red in the dark checks nest breeding. And again, we'll just dip its beak in so they know what the water is and let it go. These are actually a little bit older than I would normally take them off the nest. You can see the tail's quite developed on these. They're about 28 days. I would normally take them off at 21. And this is basically your standard checker pigeon. But it will be carrying opal gene. And this is basically how you hold a pigeon. You use your two fingers and the legs go down between. The thumb comes over the back and the hand wraps around the pigeon gently. You see how very loosely I'm holding this bird with one hand supporting the crop. And that pigeon would just sit like that. That's the correct way to hold a pigeon if you don't already know. And again, just a little, use the thumb, dip its head in there so it gets a glug of water on its beak and it knows what water is. And not more importantly, they're looking at this dish, this bowl here, whilst I'm doing this, and they will remember this. But we'll keep an eye on them for a couple of days and we'll come back and constantly dip the beak in if I don't see them drinking of their own accord after they've had a feed. Again, the tail's quite big. This is the little opal. As you can see, they've got like the brown casting right through the feathers. You get them, the opals come in all different shades of brown, pinks, yeah, but this is got the brown cast all over it, and it will moult out quite a nice pigeon. And again, you see how I'm holding the bird. The 2 feet go between these fingers here. The finger and thumb comes round the bird, and the hand literally holds it very, very gently just to hold the wings, and one hand under the crop. Again, using the thumb, we just press down till the bird gets the water and knows where it is, and then we'll let it go and find the other ones. And that's it, guys. That's how we prepare youngsters into the loft. Once we get the rest of them in, we'll give you a quick look at them, and then we'll introduce the other birds with them. Okay guys, see you later. Right guys, we've been and got the second round of youngsters out of the other loft. Well, the ones that's ready anyways. There's still 4 in there. I'm going to give them another couple of days. So we have the next batch here. And again, we're going to go through the same process. Now I put the cover over this water pure and simply so that those little youngsters through there didn't come in and fall in the water or drown themselves whilst I was out there doing that. So again, we're just going to lift off the lid, and then we're going to just plunk it down here, whilst we go through the same process. And we'll give you a look at these ones. So of course they are identifying themselves better now that they're feathered up. So you remember we had a white one in there. We had one I said was a reduced almond, and that definitely does appear what it is. And the other one was white, and this is the one. And now as you can see, it's developed a little black fleck on the back, and there's none in the wings, it's pure white in the wings. Oh, but you will see a little, I don't know if you can make this out or not, there's a little touch of brown in there, in that one. Now this is the almonds, we're trying to get them with a mixture of brown, black, grey, as many colours as we can basically. But you'll also see that around the face now, we've got some starting to go grey and a little black spot here. So this has now identified itself as an almond, which means it's a cockbird because the mother is a female almond. And they're sex linked, so the females can only breed males, but the males can breed females and males. I've just noticed it's actually got a little bit of brown around this eye here as well. I'm not sure how well you're making this out on the camera, guys. Again, just the same process. Little dip in the water, just so they know where it is, and then we'll let them go. Now this is the nestmate, another almond, and you see the difference between these guys. This one here has lots and lots of flecking already in the tail, in the wings. It has brown, it has blacks, it has chocolate coloured feathers. It's a really, really bonny almond, this one, guys. Now they're not normally this well marked coming off the nest, but if they're this well marked coming off the nest, then they're usually going to be very well marked after the first molt, and they will darken up. And in this flight here we've got tri-coloured feathers, so it's white, brown and black. And likewise with this one here, guys. So I believe this one is a bit of a recessive as well. You can see the casting over here, but they're both carrying the recessive gene as well now, guys. And again, it's another cock. It's a male because the mother is an almond and she can only produce males. Lots of black round the neck and head, and there we go, guys. Now these are a little bit on the smaller side, and you'll see the tails. This is about the age I like to take them off normally. You have to keep an eye on them for a day or two, but you can see the tail's much shorter on these, which means they're a lot younger than the other ones I brought out earlier. But here basically we have a qualmond. Now I'm not sure, this is probably going to be a female, this one, and here I'll see a little black tick just here as well, and it will develop black flecking just like the almond gene, but this is like a gunmetal grey, this one. Again, same process, guys. Little dip in the water and we'll let it go. This is the nestmate to that one, which is going to be a cock, a lot bigger as well. And this one here looks like another qualmond, but this one has white flights as well, and it has a little bit of pieding. If you can just see a little white tick behind the eye here, and it has one on this side as well. So this one's a pied, but it's also looks like this one looks like it's carrying almond as well. I don't know if you can just see the very faint marks in here, which will show better after the molt. But that's a cock, and that's the nestmate to the little qualmond. And then you remember, guys, we said we had a little recessive red. Well, here she is. I'm pretty certain she is a female, and this is off the two indigos, the double factor indigo and the indigo cock. They do throw recessive reds. Sometimes that's all you get out of them in a season, but more often I've had 6 different colours out of that pair. So hopefully we're going to get some different ones on the next nest. Again, little dip in the water, just so they know where it is, and we'll let it go. Take our little basket out. And we now put the cover back over the water so that the birds don't fall in it. And as you can see, guys, for those that don't know, they can poke the head through here and dip in to get a drink. Right guys, hope you enjoyed that. Obviously this is aimed at people who either have never had pigeons, are considering getting pigeons, and what the process is of taking the youngsters off the nest. And we'll just give you a little look at the youngsters now in the loft. And as you can see, it's all brand new to them, and it's going to take them a little while to build up the confidence to start walking around and going into the 2 different sections. Those 3 there have already done it, but yeah, things will change when I let these other 4 birds in with them. Now the other 4 birds are, one, I want eggs off the double factor indigo and the other bird, and then we've got the 2 little tumblers and chickeninos, which are hopefully going to show these guys how to eat and drink, where the minerals are, and the grit as well. And they'll show them how to drink out of this drinker. They'll instinctively follow them to the drinker, and in the next couple of days they should all be eating and drinking. But we'll keep an eye on them. That's the reason I took my holidays, so that we can keep an eye on them, because you might get an odd one that doesn't catch on quickly, and it does happen. Not very often, but it does happen. And I want to be there on hand to make sure they're all getting fed and water, guys. Right guys, we put the other birds back into this section now with the babies. So here you'll see a little chickenino here, and they're not much bigger than the actual youngsters themselves, even full grown. But she actually broke her wing and can't fly anymore. So basically she, and they're not very aggressive, especially the females. So she knows how to eat and drink, she knows where the feeder is, she knows where all the water is, and basically she will help them. And because she can't get off the floor, she'll just mingle with them now, and she'll help them feed and drink. Up here is the cockbird that we are going to take, hopefully, a pair of youngsters off. Now, he's a recessive yellow-pied, but he came out of an almond, and when he was born he was blind in one eye. He still is blind in that eye, so this eye we can see here is his good one, but he's completely blind in the other eye, and he can't see. I can actually approach him from that side and he can hear me, but he can't see me. But he's a very, very placid cockbird, and I'm hoping he's not going to harm these youngsters. But he's also paired himself up with this one here, and this is the one that I really want youngsters off, guys. This is a double factor indigo. Now this colour here came out of that pair that we've just taken this little recessive red off. Like I said, they throw about 6 different colours. It's what I call my golden pair. I get different colours off those nearly every single time, but I get a fair amount of the recessive reds as well. But I have had quite a number of these, but this is the only one I've kept because it turned out to be a female, and that's a double factor indigo, guys. So that hen there has paired herself with this cock, and he's pretty placid, she's pretty placid. And then we've got a little tumbler in here as well that just happens to be in here. Again, just a very placid little hen, and she'll just help with the progress of the feeding and drinking of the birds, of the youngsters. So we're going to leave these to settle down, and we'll come back and do a little check on them later, guys. Catch you later. Right guys, we had a little visit over in the garden, and we've got ourselves another bit of a feed. So we've got our rhubarb here, and I've pulled some nice onions, as you can see. Yeah, a few of the onions are ready, so we've got those as well, guys. I've also pulled a couple of little spring onions, only 2, and a couple of other smaller onions out of the polytunnel as well, guys. See you later. I'm not sure how well you can see this, guys. I've just been out there, and I just dawned on me I haven't actually done a video yet of the birds having a bath. This is not ideal, but as you can see, I've put the little baths into the aviaries now, and you can see the fantails over there all gathered in the water troughs, little baths that I have put inside the aviary. Basically that's how the birds keep the feathers in good condition. So as you can see, I got absolutely drowned doing it as well. As soon as I decided to go out and put the baths in the aviary, they decided to open up from the high heavens again. So likewise, we've put one in here as well for these birds, and they've already all been in there, and they've all had a good bath in there, and they're out just preening themselves now. This of course does help with the hatchability of the eggs as well, guys. They're going with the wet feathers, and that dampens down the eggs and helps the eggs to hatch better, assuming they're full, of course. But yeah, so I've been around each of the aviaries and put a bath in. There's only one I haven't got the bath in yet, and I'm hoping that if it fares off long enough, I'll get that in. Then we'll basically leave them in there all day, and we'll take them out tomorrow. Catch you later, guys. So I'm just putting the last bath into this aviary now, guys. As you can see, on each of my aviaries, I built a little door on the underside with a padlock on, and basically I can just lift this up, turn the turn catches, lift this up, put in the bath, drop that back down, stops the pigeons escaping. Easy access for me, and yeah, no escapees. Catch you later. Right guys, I'm back in the shed now, so we've got that all sorted out. For those that have seen earlier videos, you know I was having a lot of trouble with the ride-on mower. And the last time Tony was here, he rewired that lawnmower for me and put me a switch in there. And it was an absolute dream this morning. Put the battery on, cabled it up, turned the ignition, flicked the switch, and it started first time. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that enabled me to just get no fighting, just get on and get the grass cut. And just in the nick of time, as you're saying, it started to pour down afterwards. Right, so we've got 9 youngsters now already weaned off and into that nice clean shed. There is still 4 youngsters in the stock loft. We've got a khaki brown, I believe another white almond. She's actually laid again now and sitting on eggs. I've also done some switch around with eggs as well in there, and I'll give you a quick look at that in a minute of what I've actually done in there. But there's still 4 youngsters in there, and what I thought was 2 blue pieds off the white bar and the indigo. One is a blue pied, but the other one is actually an opal bar pied. So that was a nice little surprise as well. Now that it's coloured up, it's identified itself as an opal bar blue pied. So yeah, we'll give you a little look at those later, guys. And I just wanted to say, again, anybody who's new to this channel, please do hit the subscribe button. It would really be appreciated. And leave any comments in the sections below. Especially if you're interested around the pigeons. I do find I get a lot more views when I put videos on around the pigeons. There must be a lot of people out there that are actually still interested in pigeons, which is nice to see because it's basically a day-in hobby. And I'm really pleased that there are so many people out there still interested in the birds. Right guys, I'm just going to finish this cup of coffee off here now, and I'll give you a quick look in that stock loft, and that'll pretty much be it for today. I'm going to have an early day, and I'm going to go and get myself away down home and get something to eat. It's 2:30 in the afternoon now, but I've had enough. So yeah, for today guys, that's pretty much it. So stay safe, be practical, and keep yourselves out of harm's way. And please join me in the next video. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.